Trade deadline is just over a week away. Next Friday, March 6th, will be the end of the line for moves this season. The Red Wings are rumored to be interested in bringing in Robert Thomas out of St. Louis, a legitimate top 6 centerman, 26, with a skill set that fans seem to love. A lot would have to happen, including getting Thomas to waive his no-trade clause, but it sounds like Yzerman is a top contender to try to get the deal done. This is your 7-Minute Wings. Welcome back to the Red Wings Report with Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura. I apologize. Today's going to be a little disjointed. We have a rescue kitty we've had for the last 9 years, and he's moving on. I just wanted to have a sense of normalcy today to go ahead and do this. So thank you guys for everyone who tunes in. I love you guys. Detroit's back on the ice tonight, and they need to start strong because Buffalo pushed them into a wild card spot with their win last night. And the Red Wings are just 5 points ahead of the Capitals, who are outside of the playoffs. The Griffins lost a heartbreaker last night, 3-2 in overtime. Manitoba scored a shorthanded goal as the Griffins flubbed the puck on a power play. If you're watching the game, it felt like they were really trying to get the puck to MBN. This is in the neutral zone. MBN had 2 goals. He's probably going for his first hat trick. You also had Lombardi on the ice, who had the last 2 overtime winners. So it just felt like they were trying too hard to get something set up so that, one of those guys could do something special that night. But it turned out bad. It was a tough ending. But again, Michael Branzig-Nygaard got his first 2-goal game for the Grand Rapids Griffins. He's now got 4 points in his past 5 games. Lombardi extends his point streak to 3 games, 6 points in the past 3. And he's got 29 points in 31 games, including 9 goals. And I believe for MBN, those were goals number 11 and 12. So really good to see in his rookie year. But again, it was a terrible ending to the game. A rough one to watch. Last night, things started to light up a bit because Tyler Myers was sat out in Vancouver. And he was sat out specifically because there's a trade offer for him. Myers has full no movement control. Now, 3 days ago now, he and his agent were presented with a trade offer. The team has something on the table. Detroit's name is being asked about. I don't know if they made the offer. I'll just be honest. I know Detroit's been talking to Vancouver. Myers is going to have to decide if he'll accept this trade offer and waive his clause, and now he's got a ton of pressure because the entire fan base now knows that he could be holding up a deal. The reason this is interesting to me, one of the other things that happened is that Robert Thomas sat out the game yesterday in St. Louis. He went home. They just cited personal reasons. Well, now, as you dig a little bit, there are offers on the table for Thomas, and he would have to waive a no-trade clause. There is not a report saying that that's why he sat out yesterday. He's going to rejoin the team. But as you start digging, it turns out that Steve Yzerman has made some aggressive attempts to get Robert Thomas. We know that Yzerman has been aggressive in pursuing Pettersson. So the first thing that hits my mind is, if this is coming out, Yzerman was working equally hard on Thomas and Pettersson, and it sounds like he's trying to get one of those deals to move. This would be huge for Detroit, but it also shows you that Yzerman is willing to take a big swing this season if he's working on those 2 centermen. Both young guys, both with plenty of term left. So Thomas is signed through the 30-31 season at just over $8.1 million, just underneath Larkin's $8.7 million. This would give Detroit so much depth at center. It would be incredible. St. Louis is missing their second-round pick for the next 2 seasons. And of course, the question's going to be price. He's 26. He signed for 5 more seasons. This is a player you're going to have to pay for. You have to think that first-round picks are in the mix, and then you move to players. One name we've heard this season multiple times is Nate Danielson. If Danielson's on the table, you're probably looking at a roster player as well. I don't know what St. Louis's plans are, but Thomas is young, 26. So you need someone on the ice now, plus a young person, plus you want draft capital. You have to make hay with this deal. And I have to think, as a centerman, Danielson is probably in the conversation on this one. If you bring in Robert Thomas, which is a name I hadn't really considered, this came from some of you earlier in the season, saying that you'd love to see Thomas come here out of St. Louis. It's hard to quantify what Yzerman would accomplish with this deal. And while you're shopping in St. Louis, you may as well grab Justin Falk as well. Again, this seems difficult, but it now seems possible that Yzerman's been pushing hard for this deal and that we're at the point with the trade deadline just a week away where he's saying to Vancouver and St. Louis, look, I want to get a deal done. Let's figure this out. So if Detroit is in on Thomas, if this closed, obviously that would probably shut the door on Pettersson. Carolina is rumored to be the other top contender for Pettersson. Again, I don't know if this is coming together or not. This is just putting together all the things that are out there, all the things that I've heard, and this is a deal that 100% makes sense for Detroit if they can pull it off. It also says something interesting to me about what Yzerman thinks about this current group. So if this is something Yzerman's working on, if this is something he can get for Detroit, this means that he believes in this group, that he believes they can do more than just get to the playoffs this year, that he's got the structure of what he's looking for to return this team to something that can be a contender. So I apologize. I don't know how long this one's going to come out. Again, it's been a rough day, a rough few days. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments. I absolutely love this idea. Thomas to Detroit, that feels like it would shift the momentum forward in a huge way. This was your 7-Minute Wings.